Rev it up and welcome to Cars Yeah, show number 2163. Today we're celebrating the Audrey, Newport Concours, and Motor Week. It takes place September 29th through October 2nd in beautiful Newport, Rhode Island. To learn more about this spectacular event and get your tickets, go to audreyconcours.com. Buckle up and be prepared to be inspired.
This is Cars Yeah, where you'll enjoy interviews with inspiring automotive enthusiasts. Mark Green is here to provide you with a fuel injection of automotive inspiration. So get in, sit down, buckle up, and get ready for a wild ride here on Cars Yeah.
Hello, inspiring automotive enthusiasts, and welcome to Cars Yeah. Today I'm in beautiful Newport, Rhode Island, with a longtime friend and a special returning guest, Donald Osborne. Donald, welcome back to Cars Yeah. Do you have any gear, and are you ready to release the clutch?
You bet I am, Mark. It's fantastic to be here, and I think we're going to set a lap record.
Well, we're going to try that. You know, Donald and I ran into each other where I always run into him. During Pebble Beach Concours Car Week. We were sitting at an auction together. Some other past Cars Yeah guests walked up. It was like old homecoming for me. But you're a guy that's been traveling a lot now that the lockdowns have been lifted and we can get back to somewhat of a normal life. But I was telling Donald, he's in a rare position here because I've only had now 3 guests who've been 4-timers. Now, there might be one other I'm thinking of, but I've got to go back and check. But welcome back, and I appreciate you spending time with us today. This is cool.
Thanks, Mark. It's always a pleasure to chat with you, whether on your podcast or live and in person. And it's wonderful also to be a part of that very rare group of 4-timers on the show. And 2 of the folks that you mentioned, Sandra Button and Lynn St. James, are 2 of my favorite people. So it's good. I'm glad to be in that pantheon.
Well, I'm very fortunate to talk to so many cool, inspiring automotive enthusiasts. Let me give you a brief introduction as if you need one. So many people know who you are, but we'll dive into, because today we're going to be talking mostly about this spectacular upcoming event and all the very special things you have going on with it. So I will take it away. Donald Osborne is a Chief Executive Officer at Audrey in Newport, Rhode Island, where he oversees the Audrey Automobile Museum, Audrey's Newport Concours d'Elegance, and Motor Week, and Linkage. You've heard me talk about Linkage every day here, a quarterly automotive publication and website where their tagline is geared for the automotive life. Of course, Linkage is all about automotive marketplace, driving, restoration, collecting events, and discovering your passion for vehicles. I've got your newest issue on my desk right here, and as usual, it's spectacular. Donald Osborne is an automotive consultant, a historian, an accredited senior appraiser, and a member of the American Society of Appraisers. And you'll recognize Donald, of course, from his appearances on the Jay Leno Garage Show or walking the lawns of numerous Concours events around the world. And also, he authored a wonderful book titled Style Transatlantico. Your Italian's better than mine, my friend. Transatlantic Style, a Romance of Fins and Chrome. We'll be back in just a moment to learn more about what's happening with the upcoming Audrey event. But first, a word from our sponsors, so they keep the gas in the tank here. Sit tight. We'll be right back. We're with the great Donald Osborne. Covercraft's newest 5-layer indoor cover is especially engineered for indoor use, providing maximum dust protection when your vehicle's stored in the garage. Your 5-layer indoor cover is custom tailored with Covercraft's attention to detail, form, and fit with the quality and attention to detail that's been their standard since 1965. Even if your vehicle is always inside, dust and fallout can damage the paint, and an extra layer of soft, breathable material protects from accidental bumps and rubs. Covercraft protects cars, trucks, motorcycles, RVs, trailers, and watercraft too. Every one of my vehicles is protected with a Covercraft cover, custom fit to fit the car like a glove. And I have a deal for you. If you use the code YEAH21 at covercraft.com, you'll get 10% off your order plus free shipping. That's right, 10% off and free shipping. Simply use the code YEAH, YEAH21 at checkout. Covercraft, protecting the things that move you. I was tired of my rates for my collector car insurance going up every year for no explainable reason. my carrier seemed to be turning into a media company versus an insurance company, and I realized that a portion of my policy premium was paying for all those so-called free media goodies. So I did my homework, I talked to knowledgeable collectors, shopped around, and discovered American Collectors Insurance. They've been serving the collector car hobby since 1976. You last that long by properly serving your customers' insurance need, not with a lot of fluff. ACI is ranked the #1 online collector car insurance provider according to Google, Trustpilot, Facebook, and they offer their real person guarantee live support. No never-ending phone loops when you need help. Plus, because you don't use your classic car as a daily driver, you could save up to 40% compared to regular auto insurance. American Collectors Insurance provides agreed value policies. So if you experience a total loss to your collector vehicle or it's stolen, you'll be paid the amount listed on your declaration page, less any deductibles, of course. No ifs, ands, or buts. Give them a call today and ask for your free quote at 866-ACI-YEAH. That's 866-224-9324. Tell them you're a friend of mine, Mark Greens at Cars Yeah. American Collectors Insurance. Classic car insurance designed by collectors for collectors. So, Donald, we're back. So today I want to focus on what's coming up here in the later part of September. Audrey has a wonderful museum, but they also have the Newport Concord Elegance and Motor Week. And what I want to touch on first are these seminars, because you have a series of what you like to call thought-provoking topics and celebrity panelists. And oh my gosh, you've lined up the who's who in the cars world. So let's start with that. Could you kind of walk us through and tell us about these celebrity panelists and these topic seminars? Because this year, man, you've got quite the lineup.
Indeed, Mark. I'm glad you think so. One of the things that really excites me about being in this business and being in this community, both here in Newport and the greater car community around the country and around the world, is the fact that I meet so many people who want to learn more. I know I want to learn more every day. I know you want to learn more every day. And to be able to bring together experts on various topics to discuss topics, not so much give presentations and teach us what is going on or what the history was, but to involve our minds, to provoke questions, to make us want to learn more after the 45 minutes or the hour is up. And I think that's one of the things that we try to do here in the Motor Week seminars at the Audrey Newport Concord Motor Week. And I think this year, as you mentioned, I think it's going to be particularly exciting. We have a mixture of real celebrities and also people who I think are celebrities in their very specialized fields, starting with, of course, my friend and yours, Jay Leno. Well, of course, is a great friend of ours here in Newport, and he'll be joining us for a number of programs. One he's doing with his great friend, Robert Herjavec from Shark Tank.
Oh, yeah.
Jay and Robert are great car nuts, and so they're doing a talk called Car Sharks, all about their involvement with cars and what excites them about cars and gets them moving and keeps them motivated. So I think that's going to be very exciting. That's going to be on Saturday, the 1st of October. Also, of course, everyone's talking about the electrification that's coming in the car world, and we've got what is bound to be, for me, one of the most interesting seminars. Franz von Holzhausen, the chief designer for Tesla, and Michael Simcoe, the senior VP for global design for General Motors, are going to talk to us and talk to themselves about advances in electric car design, what opportunities electric car architecture offers for designers. I mean, we think about the economy, we think about the propulsion speed and all of that. But in conversations that I had with both of them over the past year, the reality that, I mean, just think of the simple thing about having an electric pickup truck, where now, of course, with a pickup truck, you always had an open cargo compartment. Now you have a frunk. You
Yes.
actually have a closed trunk area on a pickup truck. And that's all thanks to the electric car architecture. So, and that's just the tip of the iceberg, according to these two guys. And it'll be very interesting, an opportunity for our audience to ask them questions about where they think it's going and why. On another design aspect, because design is something, as you mentioned before, I wrote that book, Stile Transatlantico, Transatlantic Style, a romance of fins and chrome. And so design has always been something that's always interested me. And we have a program which I'm really looking forward to called Sculpture in Design, Car Styling from 2D to 3D. And it's featuring two people who I think are very interesting. One is my good friend Dennis Little, who retired from GM Design a number of years ago as head of the Cadillac studio, but had a long career at GM Design, starting as a modeler. And a fellow named Tony Tarantino, who is currently on the GM Design staff, who is also a modeler, because I think that when we think about car design, we just think, oh, well, today it's all computers and people just sit at the tablet and draw. But there are still sculptors. They still create clay models. They create 3D models so that we can actually see what these vehicles might look like before they're put into production. So Tony and Dennis are going to take us through on a journey of the transformation of a car from sketch to model and what that means in the car design process. I think that's something that's going to be very exciting. And, of course, we talked about the future in car design, and this is a subject which is near and dear to me, and a panel that I'm going to be on with Jay and our friend Wayne Carini is about, can we actually predict the future of the car?
Oh, my gosh.
And that's going to be a seminar on September 30th, because I won't give away too much, but just sort of think about when we were kids, Mark, and looking at Popular Mechanics and Mechanics Illustrated, and the fact that we're all supposed to be driving flying nuclear-powered cars right now, weren't we?
Right. Yeah, we're supposed to, yeah.
Exactly. So, who knows what's going to come next? And so I think this is going to be a lively conversation. Every conversation with Jay and Wayne is lively. So that's one I think that people don't want to miss. Also, there is a really terrific program that a very good friend of mine, Ed Welburn,
of
course, another former GM designer, retired GM Global VP of Design. He's going to be talking about a film project that he is working on. He's executive producing a film called Erased, E-R-A-C-E-D, Forgotten Auto Racing, all about the great black auto racers of the 1920s and 30s.
Oh, cool.
And it's a fascinating topic about which very few people know anything. I know very little about it, and I am really looking forward to learning more about it and hearing more about this film, which is going to be absolutely amazing. And the characters and personalities and their achievements, and of course the obstacles they face, I think it's going to be an amazing talk. That's also on September 30th. And one of the features of the Concours itself is going to be a special reunion of ATS cars. Automobili Turismo e Sport is a mark which is almost unknown. It was begun by a group of people who quit Ferrari in a huff after the 1961 Formula One season. It was called the so-called Palace Revolt.
Oh, yeah.
And Winston Goodfellow, a great writer and photographer and historian, is going to give a talk about ATS and the Ferrari Palace Revolt. And at the Concours on Sunday, we are going to have a reunion of 3 of the 8 ATS GTs built, plus the ATS, one of the 2 surviving ATS Formula One cars, and its spiritual successor, the great Alfa Romeo 33 Stradale.
Wow.
So that's going to be an amazing thing, and it's a terrific thing. Another very exciting program, and this one is really going to amaze the participants. It's called Redefining American Muscle. And this is all about, again, the future. Jay Leno is going to be joined by Tim Kinesis, who is the CEO of Dodge. And they're going to talk about a brand new car, a concept they've just released, and which is going to lead to the next generation of supercars, a redefinition of supercars in the electric age. So that's going to certainly be something to,
I love it.
To hear about. So, of course, we like to have fun in these seminars as well. Not all the rest of the seminars I mentioned are not going to be fun, but we're going to also have some programs that focus on sort of lighter things. One of them is Cars of the Silver Screen, and that's going to be a lot of fun. Last year, we had a great program of car commercials, 2 very apt presenters, Jay Ward, of course, of Disney Pixar, and Vin Dimona, America's Funniest Home Videos and other great TV shows. Presented a great program, which everyone loved last year. This year, they're looking at Cars of the Silver Screen, film and TV, and that should be a lot of fun because, of course, we all remember, certainly those of us who are car enthusiasts, we sometimes remember the cars in a movie or a TV show more often than the actual plot of the movie or who starred in it.
You and I do, that's for sure.
And so that's going to be a lot of fun because I know they're going to put a very particular twist on that and what the cars mean in terms of not only entertainment, but character development. Why did a director or a writer choose a particular car for a particular character? I think that's something which is very fascinating to me. And another great program, this one called Glamour Road, Color, Fashion, Style, and the Mid-Century Automobile. based on a book by Tom Dole and Jeff Stork. And this is going to tell the story of mid-century fashion and advertising in the car business, and the way fashion trends really took over the car business. When you think about what cars were like in the 1920s and 30s and into the beginning of the 40s, they're really sort of dour and very sort of functional. And of course, in the 50s, everything just absolutely exploded with color and movement and fabric and style. And we're going to see how that related, fashion, style, the way it was portrayed in the great advertising from the period. And it's a really terrific book that they've written. And they'll be here to give a presentation on the book and also be here to sell the book and offer autographed copies. So that's going to be fun as well.
Holy cow. I mean, this is like a star-studded. Are you going to have like the red carpet where, they have in Hollywood where all these people show up? Because this group of people, my goodness, is spectacular.
Yeah, and there are actually even more of them. And of course, all the seminars except for one are held in the Casino Theater at the historic International Tennis Hall of Fame, the wonderful McKim Mead and White Newport architectural masterpiece, a wonderful little jewel box of a theater. And that alone is also exciting to see in our Concours Village, where there's lots of vendors distributing information and selling merchandise, as well as the place where our bottoms auction will be. They'll be on preview and then have the auction on Friday afternoon into the evening. And one of the seminars actually will be on Saturday, not in the theater, but actually in the Van Arsburg Indoor Tennis Stadium where the bottoms auction is. And that will be done by Tim McNair of Concord Detailing, a Pebble Beach class-winning detailer. And he's going to be there with a seminar called Details Makes a Difference, giving us all those great insider tricks onto what we can do to make our cars look the best. It's everything that we think about here at Newport in the Audrey Newport Concours Motor Week, because we're all about the way people engage with cars. And I think that all of these seminars and their presenters will get us to engage even more deeply with the cars that we love and engage in cars in a way that we didn't think about before.
Oh, it's spectacular. And another one you have that I don't believe you mentioned, the next generation is here. Are you going to be talking with, I want to talk a little bit about this because you and I and those of us who are, let's say, more mature, I'm not going to call us old. And we always wonder, will there be the generation behind? And you guys there at Audrey started off your Concours events by bringing young people in and having young people bring their cars. I had your first winner, the beautiful orange 2002, Kelly Kramer, as a guest here on the show. So can you talk a little bit about your talk with Evan Clary?
Yes, that's going to be very, very interesting because first and foremost, we like to think, although of course it's never, the work is never done, we like to think that we have done as much as we possibly can to help reassure people that our car hobby is in very good hands with the next generation and the generation after that. But I think people should be reminded not only that there are young people who are very interested in the car hobby and the car business, but the fact that there are people making their way through the car business, and in a way that might be surprising. Evan is one of those folks. You and I are both great supporters of the program at McPherson College in McPherson, Kansas.
Yep.
And he is a graduate of McPherson, and he's going to talk with me about his journey, how he got into the idea of making a career in the car business, his path through it, and what his experiences were and how they might help other young people decide what it is that they want to do and recognize the opportunities that exist. Because the enthusiasm is there, the passion is there, the knowledge is there, the ability is there. It is up to us, you and me, Mark, to give young people the access that they need to understand what is available and that people want them to come and be a part of this.
Absolutely. I think it's so important. And we see this with more and more concours around the world, really. They've realized we got to bring young people into this and keep this all going. And there's plenty of young people that want to be in the car trade. I noticed during Car Week, walking around, a lot more young people this year than I've ever seen before. It seems to just be growing. So there is a future, absolutely. And when you talk about some of these seminars you're having, talking about what's happening in the future, future muscle cars and where we're going with all this, it's wonderful. I'll remind you listeners, I'll put links to Audrey.com and to their website where you can sign up to attend all these. And if you've never been to a Concours seminar, I'll call it that, or event seminar. In your case, it's multiple day type seminars. You really should do this. And with a lineup like they have, oh my gosh, what a great way to start. So I'll put a link to all of those. We'll be back in just a moment because I want to talk about more, as if that isn't enough, you've got going on during these 3 days. So sit tight, keep the seatbelts on, and we'll be right back. I've discovered Linkage. It's a new quarterly publication and website that covers the automotive market, driving, restoring, collecting, and discovering your passion for motor vehicles. Linkage is about experiences, opinions, and values. Linkage is an actual informed, reasoned opinion based on first-hand experiences. A talented Linkage team covers the automotive world, the people who share your passion and mine, smart, considered, rational, and experienced opinions, ones you can learn from and grow. That includes our passion that drives auctions and the collector car market. So come with me and join us on this journey. And be sure to use the code CARSYEAH when you subscribe, and they'll give you $10 off. Boom! Linkage, geared for the automotive life. Subscribe today at linkagemag.com. AutoGeek's Blackfire SiO2 Spray Sealant. It's a spray-on, wipe-off sealant that's quick, safe, and easy to clean and protect your vehicles. I love using it on all my cars. AutoGeek's Blackfire SiO2 Spray Sealant is a spray-on, wipe-away sealant that uses SiO2 ingredients to provide a slick, brilliant, and long-lasting shine. Silicon dioxide is known to be one of the most effective ingredients in car care products, and Blackfire Spray Sealant takes advantage of every stunning feature it has to offer. This sealant will protect your paint from road film, dirt, and other common contaminants while providing an impeccable, long-lasting, hydrophobic surface that forces water to sheet and bead on your paint for months. Go to autogeek.net to get yours and for the best product selections on the internet today, along with their skilled technical support. Autogeek.net is where I go for all my detailing needs. That's autogeek.net. Check them out today. Jim Canova is a past guest here on Cars Yeah, and he's detailed over 8,000 vehicles. And that kind of professional experience leads to innovation. He was tired of uncomfortable stools and creepers and being down on his knees when detailing cars. So as a result, Jim thought, you know what, there must be a better way. And he invented the Bumby Seat. His unique design gets you off your knees and your bum onto a far more comfortable seating position for all your low-level automotive detailing. The Bumby Seat, with its patented full flat design, allows you to adjust your position to the task at hand. Convenient side trays hold your car care products, tools, cloths, or a tasty beverage. Built for the toughest driveways and garage tasks, the Bumby Seat has wheels that roll easily over almost any surface, and it makes a great around-the-home adjustable stool for hobbies, yard work, or take it to the car show. The full flat design makes storage a breeze. Jim has launched an Indiegogo fundraiser, and you can get in on the start of what's sure to be an industry favorite. Go to Indiegogo.com and type in Bumby Seat, that's Bumbee Seat, to be one of the first in line to start improving your automotive detailing experience today. That's Bumby Seat on the Indiegogo.com website. A fun folding mobile seat design. 20, 50, or 100 years from now, will there be a workforce to care for the collector vehicles we love? With auto shop programs disappearing across the country, it's a question we enthusiasts have to ask. That's why I support the RPM Foundation, which exists to ensure that the critical skills necessary to preserve and restore these vehicles aren't lost to time. One of the many ways RPM, which is short for Restoration, Preservation, and Mentorship, is accomplishing this goal is through workforce development initiatives. The RPM apprenticeship program enables the next generation of artisans to earn a living while they learn the craft of restoring and preserving these vehicles directly from industry professionals. The Endangered Skills Program documents the process of masters training future craftspeople on a variety of critical skills in danger of being lost forever. For more information on how the RPM Foundation is driving the future of the collector vehicle skills trade, visit RPM Foundation today. They're one of the charities of choice here on Cars Yeah. So we are back. So let's talk a little bit about some of the other many things that you've got going on, because you've got, oh my gosh, you've got a dinner, you've got a village lounge you mentioned, you've got your auto museum that'll be opening, or be open, I should say, a thing called The Gathering. I mean, there's so many things to talk about. So could you kind of walk us through, for people who are fortunate enough to attend this event, these 3 days, what are all the fun things you're going to see? And then we're going to wrap it up by talking about some of the special cars that are going to be on the grass.
Well, one of the things that I think really sets this event apart, Mark, is the fact that can experience so much of what cars mean in so many ways throughout the 3 days. We have events for the family. We have events that are absolutely free. We have events that are very exclusive and very small-scaled. We've got something for everyone. We start out, of course, the heart of our event is the Concours Village. Admission to the Concours Village is free for all. We have a wonderful family area in the Concours Village. It's where we have our seminars, which are ticketed events. We have the preview of the Bonhams auction. We have vendors displaying merchandise, some dealers showing collector cars for sale. We have a number of other organizations that have booths there for you to investigate. And we also, of course, have the museum open, and we're selling a special museum ticket that gets you admission to not only the Audrey Automobile Museum, but also the International Tennis Hall of Fame Museum as well, and the Sailing Museum here in Newport. So you get to take in all of sort of the things that make Newport, Newport. And of course, as you mentioned before, we have events at various venues. One of the things that makes Newport so special to visit are all the wonderful historic buildings, including the International Tennis Hall of Fame, the Audrey Automobile Museum, housed in our beautiful Italian Renaissance 1903 building. We have an event on Friday all day called The Gathering, which is a wonderful automotive lifestyle event with great food and wonderful music and terrific contemporary cars and some historic cars as well. A couple of unveilings, which we can't talk about, but you'll see that day.
Coming. Yeah.
All on the grounds of Rough Point, Doris Duke's great mansion on the point on the ocean.
Oh, wow.
We have also the Wine by the Water, which is held at 41 North, a wonderful marina venue where people gather to chat about all that's going on in town. We have the Hilltop Hangout at a beautiful B&B in town where people, again, gather for drinks and cigars and great conversation. We have, of course, one of the highlights of the week is the Tour d'Elegance, where many, I think at this point we have signed up about 70% of the 180 cars which will be in the Concours on the field, set for a 50-mile tour around Aquidneck Island and up across through Tiverton and Little Compton, Rhode Island. Beautiful, beautiful countryside roads. And we let the route be known in advance so people can come out and watch the cars along the route. It's nothing better than seeing a great old car on the road. And the parade will finish, the tour will finish rather, on Bellevue Avenue in front of the museum and the International Tennis Hall of Fame, our Concours Village, parked for display on Bellevue Avenue. And it's something that's absolutely magical and is one of the highlights of the week. People love it. And of course, we've been known for our cars and coffee events. The Audrey Automobile Museum hosts 17 cars and coffee events throughout the year from April to November.
Wow.
We have our biggest of the year, not surprisingly, at Fort Adams on the Saturday of the Concours week, and that's going to be very exciting. We've got sponsor partners involved. Bring a Trailer is having a Bring a Trailer reunion there at the event. Our Concours tour is sponsored by Bank of America. We have, as I mentioned before, Bonhams. We have some really terrific sponsor partners, Bentley. It's going to be really absolutely astonishing to see, and we're looking forward to a tremendous turnout of participants and visitor guests.
Oh, it's incredible. Wow. I mean, take a breath here. It's like you've put a car week into 3 days. Anybody who attends this event is not going to lack for anything car related, that's for sure. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. Of course, we got to mention another great sponsor, friends of ours, Reliable Carriers. They're incredible. Touch a little bit on Bonhams, because all these great car shows are typically surrounded by or have some kind of auction involved. Bonhams, they've got some great things coming.
Yes, they do. Bonhams has been a great partner for us here. This is their second auction. They debuted their auction here last year. It was a tremendously successful event. They're also been sponsors of our Veteran Car Tour as well. Our first one, which was held this year. We're going to hold another one next year. And they've also worked with us on a number of other events. Both of us have known the folks at Bonhams for many, many years. They enjoy being here. They're perfect partners for an historic venue such as Newport. And they really know how to present cars well and really showcase the cars that mean a difference. And they're also people that believe in driving cars, which is what is key and core to our mission here.
It's wonderful. I mean, it's an incredible lineup of events. There'll be nothing lacking for fun and what you guys are doing. You know, we've had you on the show before, so a lot of the questions I ask all my guests, I've asked you many times, but I'm going to ask you one of them here because, I mean, you're a guy that's been in so many cars and been around so many cars. But if I asked you today and enabled you to go on what I like to call here at Cars Yeah, the ultimate drive, meaning I'm going to buy you any vehicle in the world, park it in your garage. You can take a drive in that vehicle with anybody, even somebody from the past. What does the ultimate drive look like for you? Maybe just today, Donald, because I think yours changes every moment.
You know, Mark, it does. And I love that question because it's both an easy question to answer and an impossible question to answer. And what is terrific about being a four-time guest is the fact that I get to answer this question 4 different ways.
Yes.
So it's, I will tell you, I've had 2 great drives recently. One was I did a 1,000-mile rally, the New England 1000, in my 1953 Jaguar Mark 7.
Ooh.
And I am the second owner of that car.
Wow.
It's an extraordinary thing when you think about being the second owner of a 1953 car. And the original owner was a very, very, very keen motorist, a fellow named Dean Edmonds Jr. And he also enjoyed very much, he loved Jaguars and Bugattis, and he loved taking cars on these tours and using them. It was great to bring that car out on a tour and to be able to enjoy it the way I know that he enjoyed the car.
Right.
And so it would have been great one afternoon to sort of have him sitting beside me. I wouldn't let him drive because it's my car now, but
Yeah,
sitting beside me to sort of having him share his experiences of the decades with this car and what it meant to him and how it felt and all of that. I think that would have been a lot of fun and quite interesting. And the other was recently at the Pebble Beach Concours d'Elegance, the Audrey showed 3 cars as if we didn't have enough to do.
I know, really. Wow.
And one of them being the 1964 Porsche 904 Carrera GTS. And it's just one of the most spectacular, originally preserved cars on the planet. Certainly, arguably the most original 904, certainly extant. It's a car that I've had the opportunity to drive a number of times, and it's an extraordinary thing to be transported back to 1964 when this car was new, and the idea that you had sports racing cars you could get in, drive to the track, drive your event, perhaps win, and then drive home again in. So, you know, something like that was absolutely extraordinary. And then sort of the icing on the cake was the fact that we were fortunate enough to be recognized to win Best in Class post-war preservation with that car. And that was a terrific thing and a great honor because Dr. Begovic and his wife Lee had shown the car at Pebble Beach in 1998.
Oh my gosh.
But because, of course, there was no preservation class for post-war cars then, they had to show it as display only because, of course, it couldn't be judged. It wasn't a restored car. So I like to think that we were able to honor not only this car, which is extraordinary, but to honor Dr. Begovic and to get an award which he should have won if the situation had been right back in 1998. So I think that, you know, those experiences are the ones that, for me, sort of make up the perfect drive.
Well, you've touched on probably the most important thing when it comes to great automobiles of the past, even automobiles of the future, and that is the people surrounded by them. And congratulations, by the way, on that win. I was there and saw that. I had a first on the lawn at Pebble this year. I got to be a passenger in a car that drove onto the lawn, a 53 Graber-bodied Bentley.
Ah, yes. I saw you.
With my great friend Diane Brandon, who's been a 32-year judge. I think she's the only female judge at Pebble Beach, Bentley Rolls-Royce expert. I was so delighted and to have that experience and drive through that tunnel of people. I mean, you do feel like you're the queen waving at the crowd, you know? It was just absolutely mind-blowing. It was really kind of surreal, actually. I was like, wait, stop, go slower. I want to soak all this in. But you touched on the key things with cars. One, using them, getting out there and enjoying them, and all the people surrounded by them. And that's why you're such a great car guy, Donald. I'll remind everybody, you've got to go to audrainautomuseum.org, check out their website. You've got to get to Newport this September 29th through the October 2nd. These events are going to be absolutely spectacular. Before I let you go today, could you share maybe some parting words of wisdom, advice, or thoughts about old cars, about Audrey, about your Concours? Anything you might leave us with that's very inspirational, because I know you're very good at that.
Well, thanks, Mark. I think that probably this actually relates, although it's not really intentional. It just occurred to me. The exhibition, which has just opened here at the Audrey Automobile Museum, is called Collecting Moving Forward, Young Timer Landmarks. And it's all about cars from the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. And I think it's really important for all of us to realize that we need to find that point of connection of passion for us in cars. It doesn't have to be a car that's from the early 1900s. It doesn't have to be a car that's from the 1990s. It's wherever it happens and whatever touches you. And those cars that have stood the test of time, whose attributes of importance and interest hold the interest of people, not only car people, but people in general. Those are the things that we get to celebrate, and we get to live in a different time, in a different place through cars and meet such incredible people. And the fact that we have access at all levels, not just at $10 million each or $15,000 or $5,000, they're time machines. They're time machines that transport us to new friends.
Time machines that transport us to new friends. Indeed. Again, Audrey, Newport Concours and Motor Week, September 29th through the October 2nd. You got to be there. It's going to be spectacular. And I'm going to do a quick shout out. Thank you to our mutual friend, Tom Gibson of Gibson Communications, for bringing Donald back on Cars Yeah today. Tom has brought me some great guests. So thank you, Tom. Donald, hey, it's so good to catch up again here at Cars Yeah with you. I'm sure you'll be back, and maybe you'll be a 5-timer. I kind of think that's going to happen at some point down the road. But my hat's off to you, what you guys have done there at Audrey, what's coming up. It's going to be spectacular. Take a breath, because there's going to be some busy times in the next few weeks, I have a feeling. Until you and I talk again, my friend, I'll see you at the Audrey, Newport Concours and Motor Week.
Thanks, Mark.
You're welcome. This has been fantastic.
Thank you so much for joining us on today's ride here at Cars Yeah. Drive on over to carsyeah.com to find show notes and inspiring automotive fun. Download your free copy of Filler Up, a fun book filled with gorgeous photographs of fuel filler fun, including quotes from more inspiring automotive enthusiasts. Download your copy today, and we'll see you next time on Cars Yeah.